Let's talk Las Vegas history. This is Little Caesars, a little hole in the wall casino joint that was on the Las Vegas Strip in the 1970s and 80s. I think it closed down in 1994 to make way for the Paris. This was my first job. Yeah, my first job in Las Vegas as a dealer was on the Strip. On the Strip at Caesars. Yeah, I thought it was pretty big. Little Caesars, of course. We had 25-cent crap games there. I dealt to taxi drivers. I dealt to guys who knew the game better than I did. That was the beautiful thing about dice and craps back in the years ago. Sometimes the players knew more about the game than the dealers did. So I'm going to tell you a couple really interesting stories about this place because it's colorful. I worked here, of course. My nickname there was Linguini. Back in the day, when the Mediterraneans ran this town, we threw nicknames around like crazy. And this is Bob Stupek. The number one story that ever came out of Little Caesars was Bob Stupek, of course. In 1989, he makes $1 million bet on Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl against San Francisco. The man you see in the picture was his friend Gene Mayday, the man he made the bet against. So we were talking about a little hole in the wall joint here. One of the smallest casinos in Las Vegas. Yes, one of the smallest casinos in Las Vegas, and Gene Mayday is going to take $1 million bet from one of the most well-known gamblers in Vegas and characters. Bob Stupek was a colorful character. Even ran for mayor one time of Las Vegas. So I'll try to make this story as sweet as possible. You may have heard it, but I'm going to tell you something you don't really know about this story. There's It's a little joint, of course, and they don't get that kind of action. I mean, Bob Stupek's going to come in. He's going to make $1 million bet. It's all taken care of, but there's nobody else coming in to balance the bet. See, that's the important part. When you're booking sports book, when you're booking, you've got to balance the bets out. And that's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you a little secret how it happened. Gene Mayday here, and here's a picture of him. This is after Bob Stupek actually won the bet. He comes in, and these guys were friends. What happened was when Bob Stupek made his $1 million bet, Gene Mayday laid off half the bet down in the Caribbean. That's what the bookmakers do. When they want to balance their books, and see, the idea is you got to get 50% of your money on San Francisco, and you got to get the other 50% on Cincinnati. The bookmakers are not there to gamble. They're just taking the vigorish, the 10% vig. So unfortunately, because this is such a huge bet, Little Caesars could not possibly balance the books on this one. So the way they do it, and I'm sure even the illegal bookmakers do it today, when you make a big bet, you have to sometimes lay off half of it down in the Caribbean. So that's what Gene Mayday did. He laid off half of that bet down in the Caribbean. So he was covered. It didn't matter whether Cincinnati won or it didn't matter whether San Francisco won. Gene Mayday was just going to take the vigorish. He was completely covered. It's called laying off the bet. So that's one of the biggest stories that ever came out of Little Caesars, because at the time, Bob Stupek, that was the biggest legal bet ever made in Las Vegas history. So anyhow, I was a crap dealer there, just breaking in, and these are some of the odds that we give out there. These are the true odds. I'm going to tell you why you don't want to bet the proposition bets. Some proposition bets are fun when you're winning and you want to parlay them, but here's some of the reasons why you don't want to make proposition bets in dice. And later on, I'm going to make a video on go into that more. But again, this is a story about Little Caesars on the Strip, and I promised you one other little tidbit of that. So I'm working there at Little Caesars, and this is the kind of joint it was. Believe it or not, we got, I think, free Coca-Cola. They gave you there was no lunch or dinner in this little place. Trust me, you dealt rough and hard to taxi drivers. They rode you wet and put you away hard. And you had to pay $1. The only food in the joint was a hot dog. You had to pay $1 for this hot dog. That was your lunch. You had to pay for it. Gene Mayday and the guy who ran the casino was actually named Dick Sargent. Gene Mayday ran the sports book, and he had Dick Sargent hire break-in dealers. Yeah, you had to eat hot dogs for lunch. And you had to pay for it. You paid $1 for a hot dog, and then you know what? They gave you a free Coca-Cola. Okay, well, and you made $3.35 an hour. But here's the story you might find funny. One time, the Four Queens downtown is getting rid of their old carpet. So Gene Mayday buys the old carpet from the Four Queens, buys it. I guess it's still okay, and he's going to put it in Little Caesars. So he tells all the dealers. He says, "Listen, guys, we're gonna shut the casino down for one day. You guys are gonna come in tonight at midnight, and we're gonna lay this carpet down. Yeah, we're going to lay this carpet down. You're going to help the carpet layer. We're going to move all the slot machines out. We're going to lay down the Four Queens used carpet in here at midnight. Come on back." And yeah, I couldn't believe it. I said, I'm here to deal. I'm here to deal craps, and we're making tips. Okay, so they closed the casino down. There's no tips that day. So I actually came in there at midnight, and because I'm a break-in dealer, it's a new job. I wasn't there probably there a month or two, and I'm a good boy, and I listen to the owners. I come in at midnight, and believe it or not, we're moving slot machines out. We're putting down this old Four Queens carpet, and it's all going pretty smoothly. And then come around morning time, around 7, they tell us, "Okay, you guys, go out and eat breakfast. Go eat and come on back, and we're going to finish up the job." At that point, I just had enough. I had enough of that. So I went right downtown. Believe it or not, I did have breakfast, and then I went straight down to a downtown casino. It was actually called the Golden Gate, and I auditioned for a crap job that very morning, and they hired me to deal craps at the Golden Gate, and I never went back to Little Caesars. So I thought that was funny. Laying carpet down at Little Caesars. This was the early '80s, and it was not only was it not it wasn't even new carpet. It was used. It was a used carpet out of the Four Queens. So they had some colorful characters back then. They were really colorful, and it was fun.